I am a busybody on Instagram, but I only comment on things that I really believe in, like Meghan Markle. Really dislike her. I hate the fact that if you are following me and if you're especially a friend of mine, you never like, you never comment. Dude, am I a museum?
Bollywood is synonymous with promoting luxury. But weren't you the one who actually started that?
It was very stereotypical. The same hair, the same, like they didn't experiment. I can also take claim to the fact that I changed the actress from the sari to the gown. There are mental health problems which we only talk about now. But I've been through it. I've been through severe mental health issues.
Really?
I was suicidal.
Really?
Yeah.
At what age?
At various stages of my life, it never goes away.
Kalyani, it is so good to see you.
Again.
2 weeks after we've shared sunglasses.
Me, the Florence Nightingale. Oh yeah, we slept together as well. I got lucky. In Budapest.
In Budapest.
Of all places
in
on earth.
Budapest, correct. We were actually recently, this is for our viewers, we were recently staying at the same hotel at the Anantara Palace Hotel in Vienna and then Budapest. And I came down with this awful eye allergy that was sort of, a big scar on my face hanging from either side of my cheeks. And Kalyani really nursed me. It was so sweet. We were meeting for the first time.
You were really a sight, not for sore eyes. Quickly gave you my glasses, like, please wear them and keep them.
Cover it up. She didn't want to see you that way. She couldn't bear to see
She
you.
couldn't bear to. But she's the maximalist. So she travels with extra glasses, extra shrugs. She was coming from the Paris Fashion Week.
Oh,
So she was in
I had a pharmacy with me, which came into use.
Which also came into use. And before that, we had only known each other through
Instagram. So it's really strange, how we make Instagram friends, And I am a busybody on Instagram, but I only comment on things that I really believe in, like Meghan Markle. Really dislike her.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Things
needed
like
to get that
No,
clarification.
the thing is about, I'm not a museum. Okay. I hate the fact that if you are following me and if you're especially a friend of mine, you never like, you never comment. Dude, am I a museum? Okay. So things that are coming up today on social media, okay, such a strong tool for opinions and things that you're reading. So I really do comment on a lot of things, but I really do believe in it. So she came up and many times and I was like, interesting. Who's this chick? So no, I think your Instagram is very interesting. It's got such an array of different subjects, different things. And that's how I think
you connected.
We connected because
she commented, I replied. So,
friendship made off Instagram.
And then we met and then
it was friendship at first sight.
Friendship at first sight. Yeah. No, we have a lot in common. I think, end of the day today, friendships are based on what? There is a connection because it's very simple that you like someone, There also because of social media, today you have a perceived value of somebody, of an individual, So many times I've been told, my God, you're really actually quite nice. And I'm like, really? What did you think I was? It's true.
Well, I nearly said that too.
Yeah, she
told
did
me
actually,
that.
Yeah.
She said she's so lovely.
Yeah.
She nursed me to health.
Yeah. And then we had such a good time. It's not just the fact that she nursed me, she took charge of me, medicated me, put some milk pack under my eye at night and all. And it was
Isn't
so
that
sweet.
magic?
We were like strangers, right? And it was really sweet. I have to say, it really, really moved
I'm
me.
like that only.
Yeah.
Get to know me.
We are today.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't get any more allergies. But
I know.
So, Kalyani, first read about you when you were handling Dior, and I thought that was a fascinating space to be in. Luxury marketing in India, in a country where luxury itself is so not just niche, it is unheard of amongst
And
the
at
least.
that time, especially.
Yeah, back then, so many years ago. So, how did Kalyani Chawla from Calcutta get into luxury? What was the.
And before that, just to add, she's worked in the hotel industry.
Okay, yeah.
She's worked in luxury retail space. She's worked. Had you worked in fashion as well before Dior?
Yes.
Fashion.
It's a massive trajectory. Actually, I don't think I know anybody, and I'm not being pompous here, but I've earned the pompousness. I don't know any other human being who has done as many things as I have. I've been a serial entrepreneur, jumped from one industry to the other.
Lovely.
Like it's actually very interesting. Now, at this age and stage of my life, I can say that, I mean, think back. I don't know how I did what I did. I started my career with Oberoi Hotels, Mr. Oberoi. I learned everything to do with luxury from himself. Yeah. I mean, he was just, the little things I learned about how God is really in the details. And if you can see it, if Mr. Oberoi doesn't like a painting at the end of the corridor, which nobody's seeing actually because the door's opening and closing, he didn't like that painting. It had to be removed and replaced. Simple as that. A year later, he's come back and noticed that it has not been changed. Okay. Today, if there's a scratch coming back to current, Razon silverware, which my guys can't see because they don't have my eye, unfortunately, but I will not sell that. And somebody tried to tell me, one of my people, that, but ma'am, it's not really noticeable. Short of firing the person, yeah, you cannot compromise on quality. And that's what true luxury is, because whether you spend 500 or 5 lakhs, you're still spending money to gift it to someone special or to take it home because you really love it and you want it. Why should it be defective in any way?
Absolutely.
I don't have sales because the luxury product. So I started my career with Oberoi Hotels, sales and marketing. Then I went on to work with Indian Express, and I ran for magazines, for completely diverse
Really? I didn't know
magazines.
this.
Yes. And my dear friend Manik Dawar at that time came, and I was in Madras because I went to open the first Trident Hotel. So it was such a learning experience. Imagine, who has this kind of experience? I started off in
That's
Oberoi
really
brand
been a layered
in
professional
Calcutta,
life.
going to open a hotel in
Chennai.
in Chennai. My parents said, we don't know anyone in Chennai. How can you go there? I said, that's why I'm going there. Because you don't know anyone there. Yeah. So I was in this gilded cage, and growing up in Calcutta. Anyway, and started working with Indian Express for magazines. While I was doing it, I started doing corporate gifts because a friend of mine who's worked with UB said, I'm looking for some gift items, to give out as corporate gifts. And I said, I'll design something because I've always had that creativity in me. And I started designing, to cut a long story short. Now, the entire leather market were my accounts. Okay. So and 100% export, but they were such good friends of mine. They'd become such good friends of mine that, they're like, what do you want? Like, yeah, come and do it. Like, indulging some child. And I'm like,
so you became a leather exporter as well?
No, so I was making accessories, designing accessories, which was corporate
gifting
and it started with UB Group, actually, this particular Crompton Greaves. I still remember.
Your first endeavor?
My first endeavor.
Entrepreneur.
And then that turned out so nice that I did that for a long time, with which I came to Delhi. And I was designing these, kind of gift items, etc. That's how I met Vishal, my ex-husband. And that's how we met, because he was doing, he was exporting fashion accessories. And I started designing stuff with him. And then I carried on with that business. He was a modern day Nero. He played golf. I worked. He had a child. We got divorced. Wasn't pleasant, but no divorces are. But by the time we did get divorced, it took us 4 years. Wonder why, without any of alimony. But anyway, that's life. And, we were friends by the end of it. And we are good friends.
Raising a kid together.
co-parenting a beautiful child, and I thank him for her every day of my life. She's the axis of my existence. And that's how I got into exporting fashion accessories.
Lovely.
I just wrote to Zara those days, and I got a reply saying, "Come show us your wares." And
Oh, really?
I went to Alicante, and
Oh, yeah.
and
We've
yes,
had that in common too.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And then, that's how I started exporting to Zara and then Mango. But my first export was to Harrods because I wrote to them saying, and I sent them some photographs. I emailed them, say, come see us. And that was my first consignment.
So you were in your
Harrods.
30s at the time?
No, I was in my 20s.
My
My
God,
God.
all of this when you're still in your 20s?
Yeah.
But I see such courage in that.
Yeah.
You know, for a
The thing is,
20-year-old.
it's not even about courage. Honestly, I mean, it didn't, of course, stop there. And then I met somebody from Dior, a friend of mine, said, Dior's opening in India. And I'm like, wow, finally, we're getting international brands into India. And Chanel was the only brand which was present in India.
Correct.
And Louis Vuitton had signed up a lot of stores because, Yves Carcel, who was the president at that time, was a huge Indophile, loved India. And, he knew everyone. He could walk into a room and say hello to half the room. Like he knew them personally. That was just the man. He was an amazing man. And so Dior was coming in and I said, okay, great. Now, I've been the hugest Galliano fan. Like my entire mood board when I was exporting was Galliano. Like he was my god. Literally saved up. It's surreal. My first ever designer anything, internet, like whatever, was that I bought for myself was the Lady Dior bag. It's a black velvet Lady Dior bag with gold charms. I felt so guilty. I gave it to my mother when I came back, who was babysitting my daughter. Separated. It was very tough for me at that
I hope
time.
you've taken it back.
No, my mom's no more. So yeah, everything.
I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so then I went to meet this gentleman, and I was like, I'm working in Noida in a factory. Now to go meet someone from Dior, I have to literally wear decent clothes, blow dry my hair, put on makeup.
Right.
I didn't have the bandwidth. I used to work 18 hours a day. I just wanted to get home for Tahira, to maybe, put her to bed, like just about, give her dinner and read a story to her, do some homework with her, do something, It was very tough. Like just time management.
Being a single parent.
No, it was insane.
And working.
It was insane.
Very high demanding.
And export. I mean, it's just madness. Consignments are going, you're sitting there till 1:00 because literally sometimes you're doing the QC yourself. There's one thread from somewhere comes up, 30% discount, or we're rejecting the consignment, the entire consignment, finished. Anyway, so I did go to meet this gentleman. I was wondering, why did it take me so long? I'm walking and cute, very cute French man. Anyway. So that was my foray into Dior. So he's saying like, I wasn't convinced, like, the coffee turned into lunch and would have happily turned into dinner, but it's just that I had to get back to my daughter. And he's like, you have to come and work with us. It was like the Spanish Inquisition. He's saying, I don't know anyone who knows so much about retail, about it. Because you see, I had done this export. Culmination of Dior was everything I'd done in the past. Because I ran for magazines. So that's what I landed up doing, press, communications.
So you were the
marketing.
communications and marketing head?
Exactly. With Oberoi Hotels, but sales, understanding the luxury clientele. For magazines, I know how magazines work, when they're going to print, the deadlines, the content, blah, blah, blah. So it just was a culmination of everything I'd done. And the whole process of having exported to all these amazing brands, I know from mood board to the shelf what goes on and how you have to sell
it was
them.
all preordained, actually.
So everything kind of tied up. So when he was questioning me, and then he says, funny thing is that everywhere I go, there's only one name that comes up, and which is yours. And I'm like, me? Little me? Really? Okay. Anyway, I went to Paris because I mean, one night in Paris. I mean, why not? Like, okay. And went and met my then president, Mr. Toledano. Incredible man. I had I think 5 minutes. Like, he just literally want to meet me, new market, who are we getting, and whatever. It was not even like it was just a chat. Let's put it that way. I sat with him for almost 2 hours. One of the first questions he asked me, so he'd just come back from the Marrakesh Film Festival. I said, do you know Aishwarya Rai? I did happen to know her. I'm like, yes. I mean, maybe that's why I got the job. But I went there with bad attitude because I wasn't that keen to get like a job because I had a life which was pretty crazy already. And I had a full-fledged, fairly successful export business. And I could bundle up Tahira and get into the car and drive off to Jaipur, spend the weekend and come back, go off to Calcutta to meet my parents, or go off for a holiday for a month to, wherever.
Of course. And a job is a different kind of a commitment.
Exactly. I didn't want to commit to time frames. And it still scares me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was something you'd built yourself, and to put that on the back burner.
Exactly. No, and my daughter, and I was going through this whole legal battle, and it was very stressful, So I don't want to now get into going into a house like Dior. I mean,
of course, it's also intimidating, no matter how skilled.
In terms of responsibility. And you see, there were so many firsts that came.
Yeah, there was no precedent to a big luxury brand other than, say, LV being here.
And I went into the atelier, and he very proudly showed me the couture show had just gotten over. Up close and personal to see a couture, Dior couture, like, you don't understand. For me, being in fashion and being such a lover of fashion, and it was the ultimate. I didn't care about anything else. I just wanted to savor in every second. And he's showing me I said, not the embroidery, Mr. Toledano. I mean, I'm from India. It's probably, this doesn't impress me, you know. But the construction. And then I saw a jhalak of John Galliano walking past.
Amazing.
I have died and gone to heaven. And that was, I said, not a bad idea to get this job, actually.
So Galliano was what
the clincher.
tempted.
But so you work India marketing and communication head?
Yeah. So I started off as a brand ambassador.
Okay.
So that was my designation.
Oh, really?
Yes. I was a brand ambassador. And at that time, there was Princess Beatrice in Spain, who was the only other brand ambassador.
Not bad, Kalyani.
Wow.
It was me.
Lovely.
And it was funny. They used to call me, oh, here comes the Indian princess. That was John. He used to always, because the nature of my job, I got to see him every time I went to.
Wow.
So
it was completely worth it.
And his partner, Alexis, who I absolutely adored.
Yeah.
He was a stylist, for all the celebrities. And such a fabulous human being. We used to have so much fun. Those were the days. I miss that. Yeah.
Kalyani, back then, in the print magazine culture was very strong because digital hadn't taken off in the way it has today.
There was nothing.
And as we know, print is forever. And you, through your, you put a lot of Bollywood in Dior on the cover of magazines. So it sort of became, I think I would say that in India, even today, Bollywood is synonymous with promoting luxury. But weren't you the one who actually sort of started that?
Yes. I can also take claim to the fact that I changed the actress from the sari to the gown. You see, I made Dior super proactive. I had to fight for everything. I had to fight for samples. I had to fight for everything. There were no budgets for nothing. It was a new market. People didn't know what India was. But India was also going to be what everyone thought, the emerging market and the next China. I mean, it's still emerging.
But still is, exactly.
We continue to emerge.
Yeah.
But it came in at that time with with this exodus of international brands coming in. The way I got support from Paris, and I could only do, because after a while they understood I was delivering and I could deliver. Now, my boss at that time, the global head, Olivier Billabos, who still is a global head, he joined the company more or less at the same time that I did.
Mhm.
And here was this person vociferously stomping her feet for everything. And I'm like, if you're going to be in India, you have to understand India.
Mm.
We are not China. We're not even Thailand.
Mm.
We are not you can't compare India
Yeah.
to anybody else, or anything else. You have to tread gently.
Mm.
You have to tread knowing that there's a very discerning clientele.
Mm.
You have to give the best of India. And I maintained that from day one. And they trusted me more and more over the years. I mean, I've done some crazy stuff which wasn't even allowed anywhere else, but they knew I was going to show them results, which I did.
Mm.
I mean, I was number one in the LVMH ranking.
Mm.
I mean, these are LVMH rankings, not my
Mm.
rankings, so you can't exactly claim anything otherwise. So there was Condé Nast and Hearst, Harper's Bazaar. They came in after Dior came in.
Mhm.
Oh, so
We
you
had
didn't even have
literally
that.
nothing,
Mm.
So I still remember meeting, the Condé Nast heads, who like Alex, who was
Goodwill.
going to be,
Mm.
and, Bandhu,
Mm.
my dear friend, who said, you must meet, Alex. And we went for a meal together. And but everything
Mm.
for me has been relationship based. But having said that, you're only good as your product.
Mm.
I had a fantastic product
Naturally,
to back me,
yeah.
and I knew what to do with it.
Right.
I don't know how. You're talking about Bollywood. There were still models on the cover. There were still
Yeah.
the cricketers were bigger than anything else, but the male models, the male not models are male, you're right? Now, Bollywood, everyone took very on a mass level.
Mm.
There were consumer goods. There
Yeah.
were things like the best of actresses. They were associated with, say, a Lux, the most beautiful actresses, with a Lux. Now, Aishwarya Rai was the first one to go global.
Mm.
It used to make me so proud to step into Paris and see Ash's face plastered all over Paris from the airport onwards. And she's the most famous Indian.
Of
Come on,
course.
let's-
It's true.
Till today.
People had a
I
very
mean-
different idea of Indian looks until
Exactly.
Aishwarya made it
Exactly.
big. Yeah.
Exactly. And she really literally took the doors wide open for everyone to follow.
Mm.
And
Absolutely.
exactly
Yeah.
what you said.
Now, Deepika
that
is on the hoardings of
perception
LV across
Exactly.
Paris. Yeah.
Exactly. The perception of India and Indian beauty
Yeah.
changed thanks to her.
It is true.
And of course the spew of Miss World and Miss Universes that we've had ever since. It's remarkable.
Yeah, but nobody's really made a name the way she has. Yeah.
Well, Sushmita for a bit, and of course
I'm saying
Priyanka
internationally.
Chopra.
Priyanka
Oh, yeah.
now.
Priyanka is different.
Now.
Yeah.
Miss
Priyanka is
World.
also very, yeah.
And look where she's gone.
Of course.
But when you're
EC is
doing
next level.
Dior, which is such a high-end luxury product, and I find this very interesting, this dichotomy between Bollywood being mass, because it appeals to the mass audience. How do you marry the two?
Yeah.
How
Create
did you
that
decide?
aspiration.
So I basically realized soon into my job, I said there is only one vehicle which can promote anything and everything, from a soap to rice to fans to banyans or anything. Let's not get snobbish,
Okay.
but it's Bollywood.
Okay.
I mean, nobody gave that kind of traction
That Bollywood does.
than Bollywood.
True.
Now, what happened? Say,
But Bollywood
a year
also got
into
stylish. Before that, for the elite class, that is your typical Dior consumer, they wouldn't consider buying something endorsed by Bollywood. Okay.
Yeah.
But suddenly Bollywood also turned chic and stylish. Like, I love her PC dresses. The way Priyanka dresses today is the way everybody with access to style wants to dress. But around the time, you were on the cusp of that change.
So you see, when magazines like Vogue came in, Bazaar later, no one had heard about a stylist earlier.
Correct.
Who, most of these actresses, I mean, I've been through it, like someone telling me, no, I can't wear purple. I don't think it suits me. I just said, who? Who's told you purple doesn't suit you? I said, wear it, see it. If you hate it, take it off. Of course, she wore it and she loved it, because it just putting things together. Now, it was very stereotypical. The same hair, the same, like they didn't experiment. When fashion magazines came in, they started experimenting with their looks because you had to do different looks, different hair, different makeup, make it, the understanding of style, fashion came into being.
Yeah.
And then, people like, stylists like Anaita, who may have been in the business of the movies and films before that. But she was a vogue, she was the queen of anybody wanting to look good, this thing, as long as Anaita styling us. It became like that.
Yeah.
Or Ami Patel and so many more, people who were engaged and all these girls like Priyanka Kapadia, all these girls who've done so well till today. I mean, now they've gone on another sphere and they're individually doing so well because it just became a thing.
Yeah, it's such a legitimate
It
career
today,
now.
brides are getting style. The mothers are getting style.
Yeah.
People are going into so many people we know, they were, they are getting professional stylists, international stylists to style them, their whole image. It's about image consultancy now, which is your style, which is one of the most important image building exercises.
Which is our next question. Go
You
ahead.
want to take it?
No, you take it.
Okay. Kalyani, we've been seeing and we've been chatting about this a lot. We see a lot of Indians out there internationally as well at red carpet events and
And in India on social.
on socials, tons of money, the best brands, stylists. But do they have an individual sense of style? What are they putting out there that if you have the money, you can get the style, you can buy the style, but do you need an individual sense of style to showcase? What is your take on this?
They're tough one. I'll tell you why. I feel if you don't have your individual style, it's very hard to copy and paste onto you something that you're not.
Okay.
But style is something that you can evolve with.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If someone, trends come and go. They are transient, But style is something either you have
It's innate.
or you don't. It's innate.
It's innate.
I've always said this. So labels will never make you stylish.
And actually, that's what's happening these days, Kalyani, that this is exactly what we talk about, that hire a stylist, sign all swipe your card, and you become a fashionista. But it's not as simple as that. And fashion and style are again different things.
Yeah.
Completely different things. And I think we don't get that little nuance between
and
both of
you
them.
have that, even in a little interaction, you have your own distinct sense of style. I mean, a lot of people we know have a distinct sense of style. And that also means that you can be in a Dior or you can be in a Zara, and it's how you combine everything together to create a look rather than buying everything off the mannequin. Chanel shoes, Chanel tote, Chanel this, Chanel jacket, and now you're done, right? So when you see that today, because affluence is being flaunted now through a lot of these other tags. So what do you feel about it? Do you roll your inner eyes? Don't
no,
lie.
I mean,
Don't lie.
people, listen, I'm a businesswoman. I love the Novarish.
Say that again.
I mean, I love them. You know why?
I love it.
They
I love the
earn
Novarish.
their money through hard work.
Yeah.
They have made it.
Yeah.
And they want to show it.
Sure.
There is absolutely nothing.
And
wrong
those are
with
the
it.
largest consumers actually, right?
Largest consumers. I mean, there are people who never buy. They never buy, no matter how much they earn. Okay. I remember a friend of mine who had a restaurant in Juhu, opened a restaurant many, many years ago. She's saying, who the biggest consumers who will come and pop the most expensive champagne.
Hmm.
It's only, no, not Moe, only
Dom.
Dom. We only want Dom. Blah. Were the TV stars.
Hmm.
You remember the 80s,
I remember,
where they
yeah.
started making
Making a
money. I'm talking about those days, okay, where they started making more money than a normal actress who may have been a very successful actress, because they were getting paid per day for a shoot. But they were from small towns. They had reached the pinnacle of their fame,
Yeah.
you know, because they became a sensation overnight on television. That's a billion people out there, like the entire country.
Correct.
And this is mass.
Yeah.
Mass bigger than movies.
True.
Yeah.
You understand?
True.
And they were the biggest consumers of everything. They were making the money. They bought the house.
Yeah.
They bought the car.
Yeah.
They went out. They wanted to dress well. I mean,
You need people
why
like that
not?
to keep the economy
Why
going.
not? I love this quiet luxury. I mean, do you know how much a row bag costs or a row
Yeah.
sweater costs?
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't be saying it coming from the space I do. It's amazing, and probably something which goes down generations because the quality is so
Yeah.
good, and
Yeah.
it's actual cashmere and not label cashmere, and then
Yeah.
you have flint of your
Yeah.
sweater. But the thing is that, you know, there are two ways of looking at it. I find I will never, ever, ever. And when I joined Dior, I remember John Galliano did away with the Dior logo after a while, you know, and apart from the Dior charms. And I was relieved. Till today, I cannot wear anything which will scream a logo.
Oh my God!
I
Can we just talk about this?
Cannot.
Yes.
Can we just
I
talk about
cannot.
people in LV and Gucci logo quad sets and people?
I
Oh my
mean,
God!
Why are
you
they
know,
doing
each to
billboards?
their own.
Of course.
Each to their own.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be
So
a
I asked you,
judge.
Dada.
No, I'm not being diplomatic.
Okay, okay.
Honestly, I'm not being
Okay,
diplomatic.
forget all this. I get
but
that. So there are two questions which I'm going to ask you. One is that we'll go back to Dior later and Bollywood later. But in the universe that you inhabit today, Bollywood, TV, industrialist circles, which are the 2-3 men and
I
women?
also did Lulu and Sky, you know, it's an e-commerce fashion brand.
Yeah. So out of these people who are out of this world that you live in, who would you say are the 3-4 men and women you think who have a distinct sense of style?
That's interesting.
Who
To
are
know.
not fashion victims or trend victims, who have their own unique sense of style?
You know, for me, contradictory what I was saying, style is your own and all
Yeah.
that. But how many times do we actually stop and say, how nice, how lovely, you know, where a woman has put together something beautifully? So far and few. You know,
Okay, but
there was
I'm sure there's
for
someone.
me, that old school charm is
That
what
elegance.
I have grown up with in from Calcutta. The way my grandmother dressed. I'm sounding like Miss India right now, but honestly, it is true. But my grandparents, both my grandmothers, totally two opposite spectrums. But my mother, you know, and I think that kind of, you know, there was no makeup. My mother didn't use a spot of makeup all her life, nor did my grandmothers, you know, apart from the sindoor in their hair.
Yeah.
You know, but look at the style.
Yeah.
Look at I don't know. I think it was a lot to do with personality,
Mhm.
And
you
inner
know,
elegance.
the character, their belief, the values, and the inner elegance, which came with values. I mean, our value system is breaking down, you know, and it shows on your face. Today, the most beautiful woman, if I know, is not a good person, for me, is ugly.
Yeah.
Is ugly.
And do you think this loss of individuality, I think social media has contributed a lot to it. You have to look a certain way, you have to dress
And people
a
are
certain
dressing
way.
similarly.
You
go-
know,
like you said.
It's copy paste.
Yeah.
Number one, everyone's looking the same. So one Bollywood bride and everyone's
Ribbon.
wearing the
Pastels.
same pastel, same. What happened to red?
I know.
Mm.
What happened to
Why?
traditionalism?
Really.
Thank
what
God.
happened to I mean,
We did a whole podcast on this, by the way. We did a whole podcast on the neutral shaded bride. We were like, what's going on?
Bring back the red.
It's all copy paste. You know
Yeah.
what I fear most about is the mental health that the younger generation today is suffering from. I speak a lot to young people and I go to colleges and I have talks. Do you know the pressure because of the standard of what you're supposed to look like? The parameters of what beauty is all about today. This child who's barely today, I'm talking about college going kids in, today, where you're out of your uniform that you wore in school, which most Indian schools have, and you're wearing your home clothes, right? Now, every morning, are you going to worry about what to wear or think about, the exams coming up?
No, they're
or
only
you're going
worrying about how
the
to look and
hair,
what to
the
wear.
thing. And these kids probably can't, I mean, buying even a Zara top is a luxury,
Of
Yes,
course.
right?
Of course.
And I absolutely I'm actually worried for this next generation. I mean, there are mental health problems which we only talk about now. But I've been through it. I've been through severe mental health issues. I mean, I
Really?
was suicidal.
Really? At
Yeah.
what age?
At various stages of my life. It never goes away.
Really?
I mean, it never goes away. I still have it. And it's just that now I seek help, but it never really leaves you. You know, it
But-
just doesn't disappear because you've gone for therapy. You know how to deal with it. You know how to, you have someone to talk to who is not going to be judgmental. And that's why going to a therapist is so important because that's their job. People made me realize my therapist, this amazing French woman, she came and she has helped me the most. And a friend put me on to
Even
her.
a therapist is French. How fashionable are you?
Very cool. She was the best. And, she made me realize things which I would have never, ever, ever thought about. And of course, I spent a lot of time with her. And the next thing I know, she's left the country. This is what I do to my therapist. They're probably seeking asylum themselves. Like, checked into an asylum thanks to her. But honestly, mental health never leaves you, but you have to keep a tab on it. And you have to, the one thing I have never been is self-destruct. I have never, ever.
You do look like a survivor, despite
I am
your
a control
fragility.
freak.
You've kept reinventing yourself.
I
That-
have.
Can I just tell you about her
That's been-
control freakiness and her thing with obsession with perfection? You know how hotel rooms are already quite perfect. But in our case, we're cleaning up the room ourselves, putting things
Back in place.
back
I
in
have
place.
OCD.
Yeah, it looks like the hotel room is going to be
Like-
filmed, whereas mine looks like there's been a bomb blast in there. Okay, everything is all over the place. Yeah.
I mean it. I really
Yeah.
am.
But it's funny, these things
OCD.
tell you so much about a person.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so lovely. I want to go back to this part where you spoke about young girls today, and
Yeah.
you have a young daughter yourself. Is she a teen or is she in
No,
in her
she's
20s?
26.
She's grown up now.
Yes.
So a lot of young girls today, of course, there's this pressure that you speak about. There's this pressure about looking a certain way, dressing a certain way, being a certain way. And to top it all, there's this lack of, what would I call it?
Empathy.
Yeah, there's,
Understand-
They're all becoming
Compassion.
narcissists, self-obsessed narcissists.
since we were talking about therapy.
Because no other generation has looked at themselves so much.
much.
And no other generation has been so much in therapy that they're constantly being told to have boundaries with their parents, to, speak their own truth.
Shonali, you'll be surprised. I was in a college and I was talking to them. I said, how many of y'all, I was just talking, I touched upon, because I really want you to talk about it. This is a government college. And I think it was very important for me to talk about mental health and the pressures on social media. So it got into a very engaging conversation with these students, second-year students. And I said, but how many of y'all think that mental health is an issue?
Mm.
Mhm.
And I think 90% raised their hands. I said, how many of y'all will seek help knowing that you need it?
Mhm.
Not
No.
a single hand went up.
Really?
I said, why?
Why?
They said, we just can't. I said, what do you mean you can't? I said, no, because, and then they started slowly opening up. He's saying, this is something we can't be known, or basically families
Stigma.
will think you're crazy.
Stigma.
And literally crazy. You don't have to be crazy or mad,
Yeah.
or they understand that, but they will not be allowed to do that.
Sure.
I said, do you know the kind of helplines? You can be anonymous, you can talk, you can do things. One girl said, do you know, I've tried and no one picks up the phone.
Really?
So what is advertised? They're short-staffed. Okay. So these are volunteers who do this work. This is a whole
Different conversation.
very
Yeah.
long conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not just that people don't, first the stigma, where people think that you're mentally insane, mad situation to go to a therapist. Okay. Number one, the stigma. Number two, listen, after my lovely French therapist left the country, went to the furthest point. She's in Sao Paulo or something. Anyway,
She ran that far away from
that
you.
was very far away
Yeah.
from me. I did try because I was thinking, and I was just like in a bit of a mess. And this was 1.5 years ago. A friend of mine gave me a list of 10 therapists.
Okay.
Because you realize when you talk about it, how many people are actually going
Yeah.
and seeing therapists.
Hmm.
No one wants to talk about it necessarily. And all of us need it at some level. Okay?
And at some stage in our life or the other.
We all need it. We all need it. You don't have to have a problem.
Really?
We all, just to talk to somebody.
Just a
It
sounding
could be
board.
your child.
But you
it could
have
be your
friends and
husband,
family
it
for
could be a friend.
that.
No, you don't, because you're judged. You have to go to someone who's
You
gonna
also
give
live in
you-
Delhi, so that this
No.
is a judgmental city.
Oh, let's not get there. Okay. Bombay.
Bombay judges
As-
less. Come on.
No. Okay. Please let me not go back into Delhi and Bombay. Delhi versus Bombay.
Yes, yes. Oh, yeah. Yes. Okay.
No. So, where was I? Yeah. 10. Do you know nobody answered my calls? I have sent messages. I have WhatsApped. I have called.
Really?
I
They're
said
overworked.
so and so has referred me. One person called me back and said, half an hour, you have to pay 10,000 rupees, 3 sessions in advance, please pay.
How greedy?
I'm like,
Wow.
okay, by the
How
time
transactional?
you are going to say, hi, how are you? I'm
It's time up.
Kalyani, It's time up. Okay, 10,000 rupees, bye. Now, 10,000 rupees is for half an hour. I think a lot for me because I need to see a therapist more than
But half an hour to warm
once
up.
a month.
Half an hour is warm
Definitely
up.
more than, yeah, exactly. Okay.
You're
I'm
just
just
settling
saying,
down
for
on
a
the couch.
normal, like a earning, whatever,
Yeah,
It's-
they
I
can't
mean,
afford
it's
it.
a lot of
Unaffordable.
money.
They can't afford
It's
it.
unaffordable.
So you see, now it's a problem.
When you were dealing with Bollywood, who was that one Bollywood person who completely surprised you with their sense of style? You realize this person is a clothes horse and can really, has her own
I
persona
think-
that comes alive when you put fashion on her.
I think Priyanka. Firstly, she's a hugely, she's so professional. I met her very recently in London last month, and I reminded her of this shoot we did. It was a Dior shoot, one of the nicest shoots, and she was wearing this gown, and she was wearing heels this high.
Wow.
She got into those heels. She looked at me, and I was like, because I knew they were not very comfortable, let's put it. Atul Gazwekar, who was the photographer, said, PC, spin. I literally had my heart in my mouth. I said, she's going to fall, break her neck, and I'm getting sued. Okay? She spun.
Wow.
PC spun, and she spun, and she spun
Wow.
till that shot happened, and we said, we got
Amazing.
it. Okay? The minute she came off those shoes, she's like, I am going to kill you. But not a flinch. Not a flinch. And there are, I mean, many
She actually
stories.
can rock so many
Yeah.
things. She's amazing.
Another person I think who's a clothes horse is Alia Bhatt.
Really?
Really? I didn't
She's
know that.
Interesting
good in
choice.
everything.
Really?
She's like a clean slate.
Hmm.
You know, you
That's
put
interesting.
Indian on her, you put, and she's very fresh. All these years, she hasn't looked jaded.
She
Or she
hasn't.
doesn't look like, oh, been there, done that.
No.
You know, she's still so fresh today.
And there's a cherubic quality about her.
No, and there's something very,
Innocent.
I don't know, innocent, exactly. Innocent, and she's just fresh. For me, that's the only word I can use for her.
I think she's very individual
She is,
when the rest are all cookie cutter right now.
yeah. And I mean, you know, I still remember when I started this e-commerce brand, and she was like this mascot, thanks to Ami Patel, my dear stylist friend, who we all worked together for so long. And she was so much of that brand. And then, of course, you know, it was part of Vogue, thanks to Anaita, blah, blah, blah. PC wore it once as an event. Again, thanks to Ami, actually. And she was mentioned in Vogue America with the name being mentioned.
Really?
That's wonderful.
It was such a big moment. So this is the power of Bollywood.
Yeah, you're
Like
right.
this. I just started the brand.
Yeah.
And the kind
What did you
of
do with it then?
publicity.
Is it still
No, I
around?
sold it. No, I sold
At
it.
a neat profit, I hope.
Not as much as I would have made.
Hmm.
I'm a Bengali. I'm creative.
Yeah.
I'm creative.
Yeah.
I can't add 2
Can't
plus
talk
2.
numbers. Yeah.
I have no head for finance.
Mm.
And I mean,
We got it. When you said Bengali, that
zero
explains
bank
everything else.
balance. You know, I have shoes and bags
Yeah, of
and
course.
clothes, and my friends have assets.
She's the
and
Sarah Jessica
bank
Parker of
balance.
Sex and the
Yes,
City.
exactly.
So,
exactly.
name one diva moment with one of the stars that you handle like a pro, but still the divaness really got to you.
I mean, I'm back in consulting with international brand Shanali. Do you really want to get me into
Okay,
trouble?
fine, pass.
But I'll be honest, I had such a great time with Bollywood. You know, it was a beautiful give and take. Let me put it that way. They had a brand like Dior, which ups anyone's ante. Let's be honest.
Of course.
And I was there to provide, but I was also there to benefit because that's where the covers came.
Of
We
course.
came from the supermodels that we used to have those days, right? You know, it was a death of models. Death of
Completely.
models.
Completely.
And one had to associations were primary. So what happened was there were just 5 girls being rotated over the year. Now I used to get about 12 covers a year.
12
You know,
covers,
with
one
all the
month.
magazines.
That's a lot.
Ask anyone how to fight for them. And there are funny stories about how I used to walk into an office and the editors used to take out every snippet where Dior is mentioned because she's come
Maybe
here
to
to
our brains.
pummel us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. But thing is that there were just these 5 girls, you know, the same names being rotated literally from cover to cover to cover because I couldn't, you know, the association was very important. You
Yeah.
could be a national winning actress and amazing,
And
but
still
you
you
were not
wouldn't.
Dior.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was, that was a very important point. And that's how Bollywood, since then, that's what sells. And then after a while, I used to tell editors, I'm like, you have the power to bring the model back. Get them back.
Yeah.
You know, this thing, it won't sell.
Okay.
Unless
anymore?
there's Bollywood on the
It's,
cover,
no, and it's become
it
a thing
doesn't
now.
sell.
No, it's become a thing.
the cover doesn't sell.
Yeah.
The magazine doesn't
It's
sell.
too much. It's
Okay,
too much
now
has
listen,
happened.
our podcast, while we have a lot of male listeners and some of them are very young, they want to listen to us to understand women better.
Mhm.
But we also have plenty women who are sort of navigating midlife. And what, are the wardrobe aesthetic shifts and the hard do's and don'ts style-wise that you would advise a woman navigating midlife? Because you see a lot of mutton dressed as lamb.
Let's not say that.
It's true.
You're a body shamer.
I know.
Let's not say that.
It's true. I'm just saying that, like, I don't do the little black dress any longer because I feel that my kid does that.
Mm.
So
Yeah, the mothers are looking at the daughters are looking like their mothers.
That's what I meant, mutton dressed as lamb. I didn't mean body shaming. I meant mutton is the mother and lamb is the daughter.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the thing is, when women, earlier on, there was a cutoff time of women to dress Western, Indian
Okay.
women,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when these couture brands came in, you see a Chanel, a typical Chanel wearer or a Dior wearer for that. It's for a slightly 40s
Yeah.
onwards women,
Correct.
you know,
Yeah.
sophisticated, elegant, slightly older. Also, they're the ones who can afford it. Now, primarily, okay? Now, what has happened is that age has gone down in terms of consumer level, also because the brands are engaging in the younger demographic
Yes.
of
Yeah.
every brand, because they are the new buyers.
And the volumes are coming from there now.
Yes, that's where the buyers are coming from. Now, in India especially, we had a certain body type and also the whole mummy ji, auntie ji situation. There is no such barrier in one's head anymore because of social media, because of what you're seeing, because of if Christiana can wear that, why can't I? She's 70, I'm only 60. Why not?
No, why not? It's fine.
You know what I mean? Now, the Indian woman has become far more adventurous with their dressing.
Sure.
Even the kids are saying, Mom, what is this you're wearing? Now, just, why you're always in these jalla clothes for that matter? Like friends are telling friends, like, sweetie, you have a great body. I mean, why do you only wear trousers at
for
home?
yourself,
for example, why aren't you dressing like this all the time? Why are you wearing only salwar
Kalyani, for
kameezes
yourself,
or whatever?
For yourself, you must be having a set of that. I won't do at this age.
What are your style rules?
Today I've stopped wearing, say, an athleisure dress.
There you go.
It's not my age. It's not. I don't think it's I'm very adventurous with my clothing.
Yeah.
I am.
So you won't do a bando dress, yeah?
I don't know. I feel like I go into stores now and, they keep showing me and I'm like, no, darling, this is too young for me. I was like, we were in Europe just now and they're like, what? And I'm like, I mean, I have a 26-year-old daughter and then Tyra comes shopping, which she never does. She gets really bored. She doesn't shop at all, hates shopping. Yeah, imagine that. How she even my daughter. But of course, she steals things from my cupboard. But I said,
this one I had to buy an extra bag for her extra shopping. Anyway.
So, yeah. So, I'm very conscious of that. I'm very conscious of the fact that, and Tyra doesn't care. I mean, she loves it. But okay, sometimes I remember her 2 years ago, I bought something which was
age inappropriate.
Neon green. No, it wasn't tight or this short or it was, she's saying, Mother, I mean, you used to have a really good sense of dressing.
Yeah,
what happened
that's
to
how
you?
kids talk. That's
no, but that was only one time. Like she loves.
No, but so what are
dress,
so like you just said, my whole question is about this. That for yourself, what are the, like you said, you won't do a bandage dress. Okay, what are the other things you won't
tomorrow, actually, it's all about how I'm feeling. It's not like I've stopped wearing short things. I love wearing shorts, for example. I think I have nice legs.
Yeah.
I look good in shorts. But I'm not going to do this tight situation and hold
tight
my
up and
breath
tight at the bottom.
whole evening because my body also isn't what it was.
Yeah.
I hate wearing inner corsets and
I hate it
skims and, I mean,
and you just have such a bad time the whole evening. You're not breathing, you're not eating.
I cannot anymore.
Yeah.
I cannot, squeeze my intestines in all evening to look good or I mean, it's not worth it.
This
I'm
is
too
so
old
important.
for that.
This, please, you can say this again.
I am too old for that. That I cannot do it. I go out now, I work really hard. I work 6 days a week. When I go out, I want to have a good time.
Yeah.
I don't go out, it's true, during the week.
She's
promise
thinking.
you.
Yeah,
Don't.
she's thinking.
Unless it's a special
Unless
occasion.
it's a Thursday
Never
or
mind.
a Friday or a Wednesday or it's festival
No,
time.
let's not talk about what's happening in Delhi right now. Between Diwali and the
Yeah.
wedding starting now, it's insane.
Crazy.
But honestly, it's something that this is a gift for myself. When I dress up, I like to look a certain way. I really don't care. Never ask who's coming, what's the crowd. And this is a very
Yeah, it's a very rude
weird
question. I don't know why
question
people do that.
People always ask.
Who else
So
is
who's
invited?
coming? You're coming to my house.
Yeah.
Does it really matter? So I never asked that question. And I like to dress for myself. And maybe sometimes, most times, I can come back and say, gosh, that was a waste of an outfit. But it's okay. What am I going to do with that wardrobe?
I have to
So
say,
it
I
just-
watched a video in
Mhm.
which Karishma Kapoor is going around the house smashing things. It's a meme. At the bottom, it said, the day you dress well, and there wasn't a single photo taken.
Yes, it's true.
It's true, right?
It's true. So I come back home and there's a mirror just out, there's a where I can take a selfie. And I'm the worst photographer, asked my daughter. Anyway, and I said, oh, at least I got a picture. But then I go and I'm like, well, I can't see anything. It's the same story, no light,
Waste
no
ho gaya sab.
nothing.
So apart from, not wearing very uncomfortable
Sorry.
stuff
Hmm.
and very bandaged dresses,
Yeah.
what are your non-negotiables in fashion now? After having
No,
been in the
something
business for so long,
Makeup,
Like
also,
fashion.
revealing,
Yeah.
I don't like, I can wear something short.
Hmm.
But I will never wear something with, say, cleavage showing. Now somebody else can do it and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
look great in
Of
it. I mean,
course.
it's their style and it goes, but I'd be so conscious whole evening, kind of, I veer away from, I always have, but I love wearing short dresses. I love wearing shorts. And, I think, you see, there is a difference between looking fashionable, stylish, cool,
Mm.
but always being elegant.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I've told my daughter this since she was
Yeah.
a kid, that even at that age, people are so quick to judge,
Mhm.
and it's not what people think. I am not comfortable. I don't care. I'm not comfortable. So
Yeah.
it just is something I wouldn't do. But, in Delhi, I leave my house, for example, and there's certain times that, you're wearing like maybe something a bit strappy or whatever. I'm
Hmm.
always carrying a jacket
Yeah.
in and out of the house because, respect cannot be commanded. It has to be earned.
Lovely.
Mm.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
And yes, you are judged by the way you look.
It
Yes,
is true. Of course,
you
it is true.
are judged if you're wearing revealing clothes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's just something that I don't know, practice.
So, you just finished,
Hmm.
you were in the last season of Fabulous Lives of Bollywood Wives. And how was that experience?
I'm just super fortunate to have been asked.
Mm-hmm.
And Netflix,
Mm.
192 countries. See, everyone had I'm sure, a reason to be part of it. I'm not talking about the 4 Bombay girls. I'm talking about the 3 of us,
Mhm.
So one of the first things I asked, Karan called and saying,
Mhm.
I would love you to be part of it. Like, yay! And, but I'm like, are you going to show my work? She's saying it's a reality show. Of course you want to show your work because that's all you do. So I'm like, yay, okay.
Mhm.
The way it has amplified
Mm.
Raison, you
Hmm.
cannot even imagine.
Oh, really?
Yes. I was at Geo Mall here soon after the show came out. Okay. And there was this lady, then actually saying, you're the Raison lady, right? The who was in that show. So
Oh, instead of remembering your name, she remembers your
the
brand.
brand.
She
That's
didn't
how
remember
much
my
you talked
name,
about it on
like,
the show,
uh,
Kalyani.
okay,
there
yeah.
also.
And I don't think I spoke about it as much as I should have had.
But
And
enough. I
yeah,
guess.
enough, I
Clearly enough.
guess. And I'm like, and I made her son actually come and film this. This is saying the Raison lady. I'm like, oh my God, can you just say it on camera? It was hysterical. So, my brand just then
Took off in a big way.
yeah. I mean, no amount of social media and
Of
how
course
much
it
you
is.
spend
This is
on
the
your
reach and-
Instagram.
Yeah.
That reach of 192 countries worldwide, nothing can give you this kind of overnight publicity
Sure.
than what it
But
did.
Kalyani, to be in front of camera on a reality show, okay, needs some courage or a certain amount of nonchalance that I don't care. So I can speak for myself. I can't speak even for Kiran. But if
Well,
I
it's
were
neither.
to, I would be getting sleepless nights if I were to be featured on a reality show. Because see, you have been on the other side. You've curated looks. You've curated attitudes for people when you were at Dior, when you were putting them. Before that, you worked in magazine, and now you're on this side, right? The gaze is on you. So I don't know. I would be nervous or self-conscious, even if I'm not projecting that at the time and not showing it, but it's reality TV and people may form a judgment for life. So did you have any qualms or any just concerns about that before you started shooting or during the process?
It is shocking that I was so unprepared. It is shocking how overconfident I was. I said, 100 of interviews I've done.
Yeah.
I've been in front of the camera. I mean, I was pulled in when I used to stay at the Taj by BBC to do a whole documentary. I didn't even know. And the PR person came saying, will you do, because you stay with us regularly. And I was also the one who did the first event that the Taj ever had after the terrorist attack. And this was after the attack. And so there was a whole documentary. So it's still on BBC. It's one of the most widely watched documentary that has ever happened, I sat down, I did it and never understood. I mean, there were tweets and people were calling me from London and, it just went viral, those days I'm talking
So you've
about.
done enough camera.
I'm like, I've been on camera, given so many, and I actually have.
Yeah,
I've been
sure.
on
You have.
hundreds of interviews. I'm like, kar lenge, like whatever. And I just have to be myself. It's a reality show. So I was overconfident. And I have a wicked sense of humor. And then, when they all came, the production team to run, I had to just sit. I gave them fish curry and rice and just made them laugh, spoke nonsense, saying, oh my God, this is it. This is what we want. So, but, as the camera starts rolling and, situations change and one situation becomes something and then the story builds up. Now,
and also the way it's edited.
Yeah.
Right?
And edit
Yeah.
is key.
Right.
Edit is key.
Did the final product?
And the thing is that I basically was the only one really working throughout.
Okay.
Oh,
Now, they
right.
all have their jobs and work or whatever it is. But it was Diwali.
How many
It was
days did you
peak
shoot?
season. It was
How many-
almost a year.
No, how many? You shot for a whole year.
Yeah. So
Wow.
from Diwali to Diwali. So I
Took a year.
remember it was this,
Okay.
that was,
It's a long
Uh,
time.
the day that show dropped, I was the only one out of the cast members and Netflix and whoever else, the only one who was sitting in Taj Land's End for a meeting for 2 hours, not watching the show, which had just dropped.
Oh.
And then I had to go to Colaba
And you didn't see
for a meeting with a wedding client.
So you
and
hadn't
missed-
watched an edited version before it dropped.
No, they don't show it to us.
They don't show
They
it
don't
to
show
you?
us anything.
So you just see the final
So-
version.
What you see, I see, and everybody else sees.
And then
Oh.
I was the only one working till 7:30 in the evening. And I missed a
but when you say that
very
you had
important
not
dinner, which, I didn't realize. I mean, anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter now. But I'm just saying that I was the only one. So, for me, I didn't stop working.
and switching off from work and
So
switching
it
on
was-
for this must have been a hard
It took
transition.
a real toll on my mental health at that time.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, it really did. Because it wasn't easy. It's real, it's actual pressure. I mean,
It is
of-
exactly.
Then you realize you have to be
On. You have to be on.
on.
Yeah.
You have to be clever. You have to be,
Charming,
whatever
yeah.
it takes. okay?
Controversial.
And I was that too. That too.
That too.
I was just being myself.
So are
Now
you
you
saying?
see, a year and a half later, what has happened today,
Hmm.
Shanadi? It was firstly, see, it was a massive success. I mean, it was a pop culture sensation.
Absolutely.
show, right?
Mhm.
And I was quiet and reticent, and all my friends saying, "Okay, what happened to you?" Because I'm not that,
That
person.
person?
I'm like, you know me now, and you know whatever.
Actually, I have to interrupt here, and I did watch 2-3 episodes,
Hmm.
and what I saw there isn't
Hmm.
you at all, Kalyani. I just got glimpses of you.
Mm.
Maybe if I'd watched the whole entire season, I would probably know you better. Have you watched it at all?
I
Kiran?
have watched it. In fact, I did
And-
think you're the quiet voice of reason amongst
Now
everyone.
see.
You were very reserved
see,
on the
Kiran,
show.
I was also myself.
Hmm.
I may have been reserved. I may have been quiet. I may have stepped back because, I'll come to this in a second.
Yeah, she's a live
The
wire
thing
in
is
person.
that if I'm not here to steal anyone's thunder, and that is my personality.
Hmm.
If I've learned, people talk about me as being a great hostess and da 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 da. One of the key rules is now don't overshadow all your guests.
Correct.
Now you can't be in one Dior gown and, with the crown jewels on because you have guests. I mean, okay, it's a special occasion. You always have to dress down a bit. These are little things my
Of
mom
course,
taught me
yes.
ages
Yeah.
ago.
Yes.
So the thing is that coming back, so I think that automatically made me step a little back because I found there were too many. Firstly, there's a 7 women
I
show.
know.
That's chaotic.
And I
enough.
also spoke a lot about, I think, women empowerment at times, or I rambled on about something which this is not the platform to do preaching. And, it's boring. People want the drama. People want
the
fun.
cat
people-
fights.
But now, a year later, you have no idea, people who don't know me.
Mhm.
I meet people randomly. They said, initially, but you are relatable.
Hmm.
You came across
As real.
Because you
as
were not
real.
performative.
Exactly.
and I wasn't performing. I was
Exactly.
just being myself.
But are you saying that all the
you don't always have to
No.
be.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, being in not being authentic is not long term.
I know
I'm also, I've been there, done that. I've been in the press.
you've done enough with your life.
internationally.
No.
I have been on red carpets internationally. I've been in the press forever.
Mm.
It's not something that was new. Of course, something like
But
this
Kalyani-
is huge. But you know what I'm trying to
No,
say?
but I want to ask you this. You said that you came on the show unprepared, right?
Totally unprepared.
So, what I want to understand is that for any reality show,
Hmm.
the other contestants or participants prepare their lines and how to look and talk a certain way. Is that how it is? Do they come when you say prepared? What is prepared?
The thing is that it is a reality show, but it's only responsible
Hmm.
towards yourself
Yeah.
to be prepared. Come on.
So how would
It's
you
just
prepare?
dumb
So
not
if you had to
So
do
if
it
you had to
again.
do it again, what are the
So,
things
for
you do differently?
example, I was just pulling out looks from my cupboard. I've styled myself, for example,
Yeah.
on the show. And I wore most of my own clothes,
Yeah.
okay? And kind of styled. We had a stylist on board, who was
No, but
styling.
I could see that you
7
were
of
styled
us.
by yourself. in
Yeah,
the sense,
I mean,
yeah.
Mohit Rai was there on
Hmm.
board and his lovely team. And they, of course, helped me
Mhm.
say if I wanted, I want that earring from
Hmm.
that brand. And they got it for me,
Yeah.
for example, whatever, of course. But the fact is that, I mean, there's a preparation
Hmm.
for anything or anybody.
So what would you
Listen,
do today?
I've come for this podcast today.
Mhm.
I've taken out the clothes. I've asked you what the background is. I
Mhm.
want to know the colors. And I've come prepared.
Yeah.
And I've come wearing what I have. I've prepared for this. That's his basic
But you
preparation.
didn't prepare your clothes also.
No, I was
She styled herself.
I was all over the place. I
Hmm.
was trying to run a factory during Diwali. I was trying to get business. I'm a one-woman show till today.
Hmm.
I'm still a startup. It's a startup.
Yeah.
And I'm literally a one-woman army.
Hmm.
I design, I manufacture.
Can I just say what was happening in Europe? Silver was running out because it's pre-Diwali.
Yeah.
And
she's seen me.
all
She's
she was
seen
doing
me.
was running her business on the phone.
Mm.
She would skip breakfast. She would wake up and she'd just be on work calls and only show up by lunchtime.
No one is sustaining my very fancy lifestyle but myself. But the fact is that I do this on my own. And I'm very proud of that.
Kalyani, when we were speaking in at the Anantara about, we were just getting to know each other, and you did mention that you've had a very difficult year. You've lost a few friends, and you were posting something online at the time that you said, I'm very heavy-hearted right now, but I need to speak this. I need to say this out aloud. And you did say briefly about what friendships meant to you. So do you want to revisit that a bit?
I'm a Rottweiler of a friend.
I love that.
The lives that we lead today, everything has become... Firstly, I don't understand why anyone would say, I don't want to get involved. Am I a friend of yours? Are you a friend of mine? What do you mean by not getting involved? When you need to speak up for someone.
Fence sitters.
They're saying, not even fence sitters. They will hear. Why come up and say to me that, I heard this, someone was saying this. I said, what did you say? What, as my friend, that you have the nerve to come and say that someone said, don't come and tell me what somebody said unless you stood up for me. The crux of every friendship, if I call someone a friend, is my loyalty towards that friend. And I don't give literally a rat's what. If I've upset X, Y, and Z, I will speak up. I will say it the way it is. You might, in all honesty, have another perspective. You might have somebody else's point of view. Fair enough. I'm not afraid to say my piece. I am not afraid to stand up for a friend. No friend of mine will ever be spoken to badly in front of me. I mean, if you're not going to stand up for someone who doesn't really have a voice right now, the person's dead and gone, firstly. And he's left a legacy behind. And I honestly, going back to not this particular thing, but I always do. And that's what people,
But did that
sometimes
make
I've
you-
made myself very unpopular. And do I care? It just shows that you are loyal to somebody, so you are against me because of your loyalty.
But some
also,
people are only
right?
loyal to themselves. That's
And
what
All
it is.
loyalty
and it's
comes with
not
the time,
that.
huh?
It's not that nobody wants to get into in an opinionated zone because they feel they don't want to upset you either, but they don't want to upset me neither. You know what I mean? They want to keep everyone happy. I'm not a Nutella jar, dude.